let's all agree that the trauma, so many children, even those who have not directly experienced the tragedy.
Just being in the environment, being in the environment.
I cannot tell you the number of young people who, I mean, our kids had active shooter drills. They're concerned that there might be somebody who would kill them while they are at school. This is not the sign of a civil society, and it doesn't have to be this way. It does not have to be this way. But we need to have the courage to act. I mean, look, my opponent, when he was told and knew about a shooting of a young girl, you know what he said? Get over it. Get over it. No, we're not getting over it. No, and to the point, everyone should have a sense of collective responsibility for the children of our community.
Yes.
And understand their right to live and be safe. I have personally prosecuted homicide cases. I know, I've seen autopsies. I've seen what these weapons do to the human body. And we've got to agree that, in particular when we're talking about something like an assault weapon, it's literally designed to be a tool of war. It has no place on the streets of a civil society. It's designed to kill a lot of human beings quickly. And there are things we can do. I mean, thankfully, over the last 3 years, we've done some, but it is common sense.
It just seems like common sense we would see this. We would see this.
I think
and
so.
I think that the majority of Americans agree with you that we do not want assault weapons in the hands of children and other people who have no business with those types of weapons.
Right.
We know this is true. So we thank you, Natalie, and your family for being here. And good luck in that marching band this year. I hear you're going to go out for the marching band still.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, it's a sad moment for us, but I wanted to make sure that, we came because we needed to be heard. And we needed to, change has to be made, and we're ready to fight for this.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we want to hear what's going on in another battleground state. Tracy is a regional organizing director in Nevada. Tracy, tell us how things are going for you. Hi.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tracy Lee, a regional organizing director in Nevada. I am the Silver State this year because there's so much on the line. From healthcare to lowering costs, these issues impact all of us. My team and I have been building relationships with voters across this state because here in Nevada, we know that enthusiasm alone does not win campaigns. Organizing does. So all of you watching tonight can become organizers, whether you talk to your sister, a roommate, or a grandparent about why you're so excited to vote for Vice President Harris. You are organizing and energizing other supporters. So please go to go.kamalaharris.com to find ways to help and enjoy the rest of tonight's event, and let's get to work.
Let's get to work. Let's do something. Meryl Streep, hello. You and I. Hi, Meryl Streep. How are you feeling about the momentum?
Oh, man. This has been overwhelming to have the privilege to sit in and listen to the testimony of the people here. Hello, President Harris.
Not yet. 47 days.
47 days, yes.
From my mouth to God's ear. And hello, Oprah. I think the word of the day has been preventable. Preventable. All of this, the surround of hatred and venom and toxicity and encouraging some segment of Americans to hate other segment of Americans. It's just crazy, and nobody wants it. We're done.
That's right.
We're done with it. I wanted to ask you, I can't believe I have this opportunity. I probably never will again. I have a little Debbie Downer moment because actually, I think you're going to win. I'm sure you're going to win. I think, yeah. But what happens when you win? Yeah. And he doesn't accept it. Mm-hmm. And you know that there's going to be this long slog of shenanigans. And I'm wondering how we get to that moment, how we preserve certification on January 6th. Because if it doesn't happen, it'll be maybe thrown back to the legislatures of the states. Mm-hmm. And I've been working with state government citizens campaign, which is sgcamerica.com. So they're great. They're doing the unglamorous down ballot work of promoting those candidates, because I'm worried about it, and I wonder if we're ready for January 7th, 8th, 9th, and what happens? What happens?
So we will be ready, but just taking a step back, and thank you, Marilyn, for the gift that you give, your talent, your creativity. Thank you for being here. One of the things that I have realized in the course of our campaign is that more Americans than we may realize who voted for Trump before have decided January 6th was just a bridge too far. When we reflect and think about what January 6th was, where the President of the United States, sitting in the Oval Office, incited a mob, a violent mob, to attack the United States Capitol, such that 140 law enforcement officers were injured, some were killed. To try and upend a free and fair election where the American people voted, that was a bridge too far for a lot of people. And we have sadly now seen how far he could go. And I think there is absolutely no tolerance whatsoever for the vast majority of Americans for that. And they've seen the lies. They understand, for example, almost every court case, I think every court case where he's challenged an election, he lost. I said on the debate stage, look, because he's having a very difficult time, obviously, processing the fact that 81 million people fired him, right? But, so there is that it really was a bridge too far for so many people that they are not willing to repeat. But the other piece of it is the lawyers are working. It's very important that we all speak to our friends and our neighbors about misinformation and help them now see how it occurs, where it is occurring. It is important that we stand up for the integrity of poll workers and people who are working on election day. And that we also, and this is critically important, that we ask people to be alert about mis and disinformation, and we ask them, do not be afraid to vote. Because I think there is also something quite insidious about these attacks on the electorate in these various forms that are intended to convince people that their vote won't matter. And in that way, there's a little bit of reverse psychology going on here, and let's just make sure nobody falls for it. Your vote does matter, and we cannot let anyone ever take our power from us. We can never let anybody silence us. And when we get those votes out, starting soon, early voting is already going to start this week, I think, through November 5th. And let's make sure everyone votes. And we are going to have a good election day. We're going to fight for the integrity of the people's voice and for our democracy. And, you know, I'll just mention earlier, a couple of folks talked about what this means in terms of the world. You know, Oprah, as vice president, I've met over 150 world leaders. Presidents, prime ministers, chancellors, and kings. And the thing about representing the United States of America is when we walk in those rooms around the world, we have historically and traditionally been able to walk in those rooms, chin up, shoulders back, with the self-appointed and earned authority to talk about the importance of democracies. People around the world are watching right now. Because you see, the thing about walking into a room and being a role model is people watch what you do to see if it lines up with what you say. And in that way, the consequences of this election are directly going to impact the American people and people around the world. That's what we're fighting for, and those are the stakes. And that's why we're going to win, because we know what we're fighting for, because we know what we stand for.
Thank you, Meryl. So, thank you, Meryl. What is on your heart to say to the American people as we have 47 days until November 5th? What's on your heart? To say to particularly those people who are still undecided, or maybe indifferent, or on the fence still?
We love our country. I love our country. I know we all do. That's why everybody's here right now. We love our country. We take pride in the privilege of being American. And this is a moment where we can and must come together as Americans, understanding we have so much more in common than what separates us. Let's come together with the character that we are so proud of about who we are, which is we are an optimistic people. We are an optimistic people. Americans, by character, are people who have dreams and ambitions and aspirations. We believe in what is possible. We believe in what can be. And we believe in fighting for that. That's how we came into being. Because the people before us understood that one of the greatest expressions for the love of our country, one of the greatest expressions of patriotism, is to fight for the ideals of who we are, which includes freedom to make decisions about your own body, freedom to be safe from gun violence, freedom to have access to the ballot box, freedom to be who you are and just be, to love who you love openly and with pride, freedom to just be. And that's who we are. We believe in all that. And so this is a moment where we stand knowing what we are fighting for. We're not fighting against. It's what we're fighting for.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Vice President. Thank you. And I want to say, thank you, Madam Vice President. I also want to say, who started the gatherings on Zoom, and all of the grassroots. Now, each of you listening tonight, you become your own grassroots organization to go forward and do something, coming together for the largest Zoom call we've all ever had. Thank you so much. And I just want to say, for all of you watching who are still on the fence, you're in the middle, you're independent as I am, or whether you're just still don't know what you're going to do, this is the moment for all decent people, all caring people who want the best for yourself and you want the best for other people. This is the moment for people who are tired of all of the bickering and all of the name calling, people who are exhausted by the craziness and the made-up stories and the conspiracies. This is the moment. You want to get on with your life because you know that we can do better and that we deserve better. You know this. I know you know this. I know you feel this. I know this is what you're saying amongst yourselves. It's in all the conversations that we're having, that you're having. And we're better than this. We're better. We're better. And we want to create a world where our children will be safe in school again. And as my friend and mentor Maya Angelou always said, when you know better, you got to do better. Thank you. So let's do better and vote for Kamala Harris. Thank you to all of our special guests. Thank you for sharing your stories, for being here, Ms. Shanat. Vice President Harris, we thank you. We hope you keep fighting for us and the country we deserve to have. Thank you so much. Thank you. To find out more about how you can register or where you can vote, go to iwillvote.com. Good night, everybody. Thank you on Zoom. Thank you. Joining us. Thanks for joining us. Everybody on screens, thank you. Thanks for joining us for this very special event, Unite for America! And that's exactly what we're doing live tonight, uniting from Farmington Hills in Oakland County, Michigan. We have 400 people in our audience and thousands more. Hello, all of you on screen. Hello, everybody on screen. Thousands more joining us on screen. And I am here because I care deeply about the future of our country. And I know that all of you do too. You care about the future of our country. And we just saw on this tape this grassroots, people-powered movement behind Kamala Harris has unleashed a unifying force unlike anything we've seen in politics in a very long time. And I know lots of people are feeling it because it actually is hope and joy rising. And there's been a, can you feel it? You can feel it. You can feel it. You can feel it. We can feel it. We can feel it. You can feel it. You can feel it. There's been so much talk. There's been so much talk about that word joy, and I think it's such a good thing because it means that there is a real feeling of optimism and hope, making that comeback, as Michelle Obama said, for this new day that's no longer on the horizon. The new day is actually here. We're in it. We're living it. So let me tell you how this event began. I was on the phone with Joteka Edie, founder of Win with Black Women. We're going to be talking to her a little later on. And we were talking about all the groups inspired by Win with Black Women who had 47,000 women on one call 3 hours after Kamala Harris announced that she was going to be running. 3 hours afterwards, 47,000 women were on the phone. And Joteka and I were talking, wouldn't it be great if we brought all the groups together, because that phone call inspired all the other groups. And so we said, wouldn't it be great if we brought all the groups together at one time? And that's why we're here. So we have the Cat Ladies for Kamala here. Rural Americans for Harris. Caregivers for Kamala. Train lovers for Harris Waltz. I didn't know there were train lovers. Train lovers, chefs for Kamala, love that group. Republicans for Harris, love that group even more. We've got Swifties, where are you? Swifties for Kamala! And in addition to thousands of you all who I am just meeting here tonight on screen, I see some faces I recognize. There's Brian Cranston. Hey, Brian.
Hey. Hello, hello, hello.
Where are you? Brian Cranston! I I hear Chris Rock is in the house. Chris, where are you? Chris Rock is in the house. Ben Stiller, Jennifer Lopez, Tracy Ellis Ross. Jennifer Lopez! Where are you, Jennifer? Yes! Tracy Ellis Ross, where are you? Tracy Ellis, where are you on the screen? Tracy Ellis. Julia Roberts, where are you? And Miss Meryl Streep is in the house. So glad to have all of you familiar faces and those of you who are not yet familiar to all of us. Okay, Brian, so happy to have you here tonight. Brian Cranston, what do you want to say? Why did you want to join us here tonight?
I'm just smiling from ear to ear, Oprah. I have never felt this much joy and optimism in a campaign in a long time. So I'm just so appreciative of Kamala to be able to bring back that sense of optimism and to squash the cynicism and the vitriol and the rancor that just seems to be floating all around Washington. And I hope that we're going to ride this wave into Washington. I'm here to support. I can't be happier than this candidate. I think she's going to be a terrific president.
Thank you, Brian Cranston. So, thanks, Brian. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from London. Chris Rock, so it's the middle of the night there. You're the one who told me, remember, Chris and I ran into each other this summer, and Chris, no matter where you meet him, he's funny. He goes, there's going to be weeping in the streets. Are we ready for the weeping in the streets? When Kamala Harris becomes president of the United States of America. Weeping in the streets. What do you want to say, sir?
I've always been a fan of Kamala, even back when she was running for, I remember writing her a check when she was like the district attorney for something. Maybe it was to get out of a parking ticket or something. But I've been writing her checks for a long time. And I just want to bring my daughters to the White House to meet this Black woman president.
That's a reason. That's a reason.
That's the reason. I think she would make a great president. And I'm ready to turn the page, man.
Yeah.
All the hate, the negativity, it's got to stop.
Yeah, we're so sick of the negativity. Thank you so much, Chris, for being up this early in the morning in London. Thank you. Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller, I heard you were on the Comics for Kamala, and so I want to know, were all the Comics for Kamala trying to outdo each other with jokes for Kamala when you were on for Comics for Kamala?
They were, and I didn't outdo anyone. I was probably the least fun of all the comics. But it was really, I mean, it was great though, because everybody was so energized. And I mean, I got to go to the convention and see her speech, which was just incredible, and feeling that energy, feeling kind of going from a stop Trump mode into a go Kamala mode, the people starting to, really hear what she's about. And, I have a 22-year-old daughter, 19-year-old son who's going to be voting in his first election. My daughter's, her reproductive rights are incredibly important. Standing up for.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben. And I think
standing up for,
Yeah, I think what Chris said, we're ready to turn the page. Thank you, Ben Stiller. So we are all together, united for one cause, and that is to get out the vote for Kamala Harris. Joteka Edie is here, and you describe Win with Black Women as a collective love letter to ourselves. I know you all been doing this a long time. I was on a lot of calls with y'all in 2020, but we ain't never seen nothing like this before, right? Stand up, tell us what is happening. Explain the power of what happened 3 hours after Kamala, we knew that she was going to step into this candidacy.
First of all, Oprah, this is amazing to just be united. And that night, Black women everywhere, we knew one thing. We wanted to gather in our joy, and we knew that we needed to get to work. And on that night, Black women, the 44,000 on that Zoom, and the additional 50,000 Black women and our friends that joined to watch that Zoom, what we knew was that it was a moment in our country to show what Black women have always done. That love letter that I often speak of. That love letter is a letter that started years before any of us in this room, you, myself, were even born. And it started by Black women years ago who knew this moment would be here. But they worked, and they knew they wouldn't see it, but one day we would. And I just think that it is an honor for all of us to be able to usher in this moment, knowing that those who watered this mighty field are now allowing us to eat of the fruit of the trees that is there.
Thank you so much. And so, as I said, that call from Win with Black Women is what inspired all the other groups. So White Dudes for Harris raised a bunch of money. Lead organizer Ross Morales Roquetto is here, right? Ross? And I hear that my producer told me you've been working in politics a long time, and that really for more than 20 years, and that you said you hadn't seen anything like this.
I haven't seen anything like this since 2008. When President Obama was elected. And when he got elected, it was about a newness and a hope. This time, it's about an exuberance and an excitement that you only get from hard-fought wins and hard-fought losses and knowing what's at stake. And that's why we're not going back.
That's why we're not going back. We're not going back. Thank you, Mr. White Dude. Thank you so much. Khalil Thompson is the founder of Win with Black Men. Khalil, what do you want Black men to know about this election?
Well, thank you, Oprah and Ms. Winfrey, for allowing us to be here and share in this amazing moment tonight. Brothers, men who are watching this and enjoying this moment, you have a choice. I choose experience and fortitude over something else. I come from a litany of amazing Black women, Kathy, Jahan, Megan Janelle, and I have an amazing 7-year-old CEO who runs my life. Hopefully she's at home, finished her homework. But we have a chance to do a performance review and give a promotion to the best qualified candidate to be president of the United States.
Okay, so let me just ask you this.
Sorry.
Sorry. On the way here, when I was coming through the airport, Black man stopped me, and he said, I guess he knew I was coming here for something like this. And he goes, well, I'm just tell you, I'm voting for Trump. And I'm voting for Trump because he gave me that check. And so I've heard that from several people, that I got the check, he gave us the check, and so therefore, forget about everything else. It's about the checks.
Well, what he doesn't know is that Congress actually paid for the check and the American people paid for it. 45 just signed it, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, there's a...
So what do you want to say to that kind of thinking? Because a lot of people feel that way.
We're not a monolith. You can have your viewpoint and views for where you believe, but I think choosing, if I have the choice to go into someone to make the best decision for my family, I don't want someone who has 34 convictions. I don't want someone who is going to choose hate over choosing the best possible way to unite us as a country. And so I see Vice President Harris as being the best person to do that.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Shannon Watts. Shannon Watts is the organizer of White Women Answer the Call. Shannon, what do you want to say? What do you want to say specifically to white women in Oakland County, white women throughout the United States about this moment in answering the call?
Even if you are a white woman who is voting for Kamala Harris, that's not enough. You have to get off the sidelines and do the work like Black women and Black men have been doing for decades, and follow the lead of people like Jotega Edie, whose lead we followed on our call. We have to be waking up every day and phone banking and knocking doors and sending texts, but most important, we have to be persuading the white women in our lives. We may be part of the 47%, but we know the 53%. They're our mothers and our sisters and our friends, and we have to tell them to vote not just in their own self-interests, but in all women's best interests.
Right, and so that's what tonight is all about. Tonight is all about leaving this moment here and figuring out what it is you can do in your own home, in your own community, in your own district to spread the word and spread the vote. So Bianca Shaw is the youth director for South Asians for Harris. What are you hearing from the South Asian community?
Yes, thank you so much for that question. I want to start off and say, when I answered that call that I would be here, I said, me? Are you sure? Because I cannot believe it, but thank you so much. South Asians for Harris, we are an official, NHPI campaign affiliate with the group, and I just want to say that the aunties, the uncles, the students, we're coming out in numbers we've never seen before, out to mobilize for Kamala Devi Harris in this campaign, because not only does she represent, our South Asian heritage, our love for Italy, but she also represents the values that, our parents, our grandparents immigrated to this country to keep and maintain. And she does that so well, and we need to maintain that.
Thank you. It's about the values. I'm with you. Thank you. Okay, before the Vice President joins us, I want to bring out a local Michigander. I love saying Michigander around here. She's known as Big Gretch. Please welcome.
We're so happy to be in your state. Thank you. I'm glad you're here.
Yes, and we want everybody who can vote, obviously, to vote, but it's very important for women. So what do you want to say to women?
Well, this is going to be a big, close race. Michigan is always tight. We know we're feeling good, but we got to translate that feeling into action. We deserve a leader who is strong and kind. It's not mutually exclusive. And that's why I think this moment is so important for all of us today, but for our kids and future generations too. There's so much at stake here, from our individual reproductive freedom to the ability to get ahead and make a good living and take care of your family. That's all on the line this election.
Yes, strong and kind.
Yes.
Isn't that a notion? And what can Michigan do to help get Kamala Harris to the White House?
I think we've got to do the hard work. In 2016, we were short 11,000 votes. That's 2 votes per precinct, which tells you that a conversation you have with a loved one or a neighbor or a fellow parishioner, whomever in your life you can talk to, we've got to do it. Do something, as Michelle Obama said at the convention.
Well, this is what we're doing tonight. We're doing something. Thank you for allowing us in your
Thank you.
state. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a seat there. Thank you. Right there. I want to bring in right now the chair of the Harris Waltz campaign, Jen O'Malley Dillon. Jen, hello.
Hi.
Have you seen anything like this? Isn't this great fun?
It's amazing.
Tell us what needs to happen from this day until November 5th.
So first of all, this campaign is so inspired by the grassroots organizations that have come together like this, and it is making us stronger as a campaign to work together. We wouldn't be here without them today. We have 47 days left, and you all know the stakes or you wouldn't be here. And while we have this extraordinary growing enthusiasm that the Vice President and Governor Walz are seeing everywhere, we are still in a margin of error race. It's tied. It's tied right here in Michigan. It's tied in all the battleground states. So it's going to take all of us to build a pathway, many pathways to 270 electoral votes. That's what we're focused on in the campaign. In every state, we have to register more people. We have to mobilize our voters to turn out to vote. And then we have got to go persuade those people that still don't know enough about the Vice President and her vision for the future. And if we do that together, all of us, we're going to get over the top, but it's really going to take all of us. And to make sure that you're working in your own lives, have those hard conversations in big and small ways. We're going to inch our way over the finish line because we're going to be able to do it together.
And don't you need money?
Well, we do. We do. And these groups need money too. All of us do, because the work is happening on the ground and in the communities. So if you want to help in any way at all in the campaign, go to go.kamalaharris.com. But if you want to help and not be formally engaged with us and join any of these groups here, that's what we need too. It's going to take all of us.
Yes, and I think that everybody on the screens, everybody in this room, everybody who's listening, you become your own grassroots organization when we leave this moment that we're sharing here tonight, and you do what you can in your community. It's not enough just to join us all. We love having you here, but the rah-rah moment is going to end, and then we need to get to work. We need to get busy. Okay, thank you, Jim. I have to just say this, that the social media team for the Harris campaign has been killing it. They have been killing it. I think that team helped spark this people-led movement. And here's a short look at the rallying cry across social media.
I'm watching the Kamala Harris rally right now, and wow, I'm like crying.
So Tony and I just got done knocking 48 doors in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Majority, if not all, independent Republican libertarian doors.
Republicans for Harris is growing explosively too. We just need to get back to a place in this country where we can have disagreements and have them still be respectful.
I'm here with Richard, a 77-year-old registered Republican who's going to be voting for Kamala Harris.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Obviously, a narcissist just doesn't stand for anything that I stand for.
What issues are most important to you personally?
First of all, not electing a felon to the White House.
I'm voting Harris Walls and a blue ticket all the way.
In 2020, only 50% of young eligible voters actually showed up, and that was record-breaking. So if you really want to be brat, you better be showing up in droves in November.
We are with her. And she's with us.
I voted for Nikki Haley in the primary. I'm going to be voting for Kamala Harris. That's the right choice for America in 2024.
Let me tell you, it is about character, and it's about decency and respect, and all the things that we were raised to believe about what it means to be an American citizen and pursue the American dream. And if that is important to you, I hope whether you are a Democrat or a Republican or somewhere in the middle, you will choose to vote your values, because values are on the line in this election. And in no other country on this earth could her story unfold the way it has. From a child of immigrants to big sister to McDonald's worker, there is hope for y'all. District attorney, a wife, and mamala, to senator, to vice president. Please welcome Kamala Harris. So welcome to hello, Madam Vice President. Hello, welcome to Michigan.
It's so good to